What up, Steffi? How can I help you? What is it that you want to know? Can I offer you a donation-based reading? Before I answer that, can I ask you a question? Hello, Mike. Can I ask you a question, please? How can I help you, Anubis? Mm-hmm. So you looking for some advice on how to deal with the stuff that you're going through? No, I can't tell you that. I think that's something that you tell me, and then because my whole thing is that if you coming to me telling me that everything is already thumbs down, then I I can't go against your own intuition. So now you need to be coming to me with a game plan, right? So we can do 3 deep breaths and forget all about them people, and then just start coming up with a game plan to move forward. I mean, once we are aware of the situation, the circumstance, and then once we attempt to do whatever we can do to fix it, after that, we just let it go, right? Or am I wrong? Is this something new or is this a reminder? You started to panic, you start letting situations and circumstances get to you, or you've been cool, calm, and collected the whole time? You better score 100% too. Who you getting a spiritual fight from? So have you tried to make amends with those people? Or is they beyond reason? Or do you not even know it's them? Is this just a hunch? Or is this something that you know for a fact? Like you got third dimensional proof? Okay. So what have you done to rectify and what have you done to heal the situation? And if there's no rectifying, are you ready to move on? Are you ready to let those people go for good if need be? All right. So do you got any current obligations with these people, or is it clean ties? What up? All right. Well, it's time to see where the cars is taking us next. It's time to move on because it's ASMR. You know, it's Friday. We lowering it. Okay, so the Five of Cups is saying. So we got a Five of Cups here. All right. So the Five of Cups is saying that moving forward, I think there's going to be like some lagging, like memories, emotions, all of that kind of stuff. And I don't think you should ever let that push you into going back, even if you hear a sob story about such and such and such and such. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your distance. All right, that's definitely one thing we gotta do. So the Five of Cups is telling me that right now in this moment you gotta declare and decree that you know all ties is over, and you gotta you got a clean palette, a fresh start. Hmm. Ten of Swords, Five of Cups to the Ten of Swords. Yeah. So what I'm seeing here is that all the backstabbing and everything is going to be over with, and there is a bright morning ahead for you. You just got to keep affirming it, right? As you go to sleep, you be thankful that everything was revealed, and you be thankful that the people was removed safely, swiftly, and securely. And you tap into some positivity. Um, whatever that could be, hobbies. Starting a new business. That's always good. Just put that energy into something else until those memories subside. Like I said, those memories might last a little while, but yeah, it won't last too long. You'll be okay. Okay, 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 okay. But remember, try to tap into joy, right? I'm so happy that everything was healed, and revealed. Ding dong. He said, "Oh yes, I just remember about anyone doing witchcraft." Oh, good luck to you with the business. You know, one thing that I'm going to do a removing manifestation blockage episode about? Uh, Releasing energy through affirmations or mantras. And the reason why is because whether you a yeller or whether you somebody who hold in energy, when you reciting your affirmations out loud, and if you can tap into negative energy and release it, it's so healthy. And then you go directly into tapping into some positivity. Yeah, I think I might do a master class on that. Singing is great. It's the same concept, to be honest with you. hmm You know, one common practice of emotional healing is like either writing a letter or imagining yourself having a conversation with the people, whether no matter what the conversation is, right? Have a close and one final conversation. Hey, I'm sorry I never had the chance to tell you this. Or, I'm sorry that this happened or whatever. No matter what, you know what I'm saying? Because it'd be different in person. But that's one way, that's another way to release some of that, pent up anger or hurt. Have a good night. I'm happy to hear that. You know what I say? I celebrate all progress. We live in a world where people stuck in mud. Shit, I celebrate all progress. Only thing I say is it's like clockwork. Mm-hmm. Just guaranteed the people, places, and things that's on the other end of that negative energy ain't missing no sleep. It's always the ones with the big heart who suffer for real because we really honestly care. It's like, damn, I care, so I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't leave it like this, or I can't do this, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It sound like you read my book, Non-Negotiables. Coming soon. Mm. Hmm. 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 Hey, you said a mouthful. You done said a mouthful. Hey man, I bet you they'd pay a lot to hear a conversation between us for real. Hmm. I feel you, and just to back up what you're saying, this is why it's so important to have boundaries because without those boundaries, you won't be able to see clearly what side of the fence people stand on because they'll love you one day and hate you the next, or vice versa. So we're just like, all right, well, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm about. I know what I stand on. So that's your fault. It's almost. Sometimes I'll be feeling like I'm saying like. Sometimes I'll be feeling like the guy that be trying to get people to come in the pool or the ocean. Be like, come on, the water's great. They be like, no, it's sharks out there. Be like, no, it's not. It's perfectly fine. Exactly. But they get exemplified, and you can see it. You can see it. You can see it. More people wear it than not, and that's the thing. See, I don't want to say too much, but that's the thing because they won't be able to hide it because they so surface level. Because they so surface level, it you will see it before you see the real them. You will see that internal struggle before you see them. Then somehow, some way, they always show you who they really truly are, and then it's just like, dang man, I had so much hope for you. Oh boy, it's on. I'll see you later. Smell me. Mm-mm. But that's the sad part, because as a person who studies psychology, uh, that's funny. As a person, I'm a psychologist by trade, and so it's almost like the hero's journey, right? When we break it down the graph for the hero's journey, and it's almost like when you turn this corner, what's waiting on you around this corner because you keep doing the same thing over and over. So you think one day, I don't know what they think. I don't know. I guess maybe one day they think they're gonna succeed. I don't know. But I guess what's life without a challenge? Hmm. I, w- I don't know how I can describe what you just said. I don't know how I can describe it for me. I'm a pretty simple fellow. It's an inner knowing about what? About how to describe it? I don't even know how to. I don't even care to describe it. I think that's the biggest thing. But if I was asked to, I wouldn't know how. I like the divinity story. I mean, I like the divinity thing. I like to say everything is divine already. So it's just like even the so-called evil is divine. Everything is divine. And there is no separation in divinity. And that's what breaks my heart, because once you get to that level and see that even the people with ill intentions is still suffering too. And it doesn't matter if you're looking at it from a spiritual lens, a sociological lens, a psychological lens. Once you get to the point to where you look at everybody as a total, and you realize that these patterns is rippling through time, you get a for me, when I zoom out and look at the macrocosm, and I look at the world, I look at society, I look at the numbers by the billions, not by the individual. Uh, the level, I never. It's like I tap into an infinite source of compassion when I do that, and it's just like no matter how much I get snatched down back to seven, I can't help but to go back up all the way up to the top. So based on what you just said about that, the divine created all things, then my only question is what created the divine then? Unless, I don't know, it's not mine to carry? What you mean it's not mine to carry? What's not mine to carry? Looking at things it is a bigger picture. Some people, no, it is mine to carry, because some people are not meant to be able to look at things in a macrocosm. And this is something that I have to embrace. Is I don't no, I don't take on people's burdens. I can't. Um, it's that inner knowing. The same thing you was talking about with the inner knowing. My inner knowing has taken me to a place to where I can see things on the macrocosm level, meaning planetary wise, etc. You understand what I'm saying? Where I can see many civilizations from many different periods of time. And and so with that being said, that gives me a level of compassion on a broader scale than a lot of people have. And that's a part of the bravery of me overcoming whatever I need to overcome to be able to step in the steps that I need to step in. So it's not about me taking it on. I mean, especially like if I took an oath, you know what I'm saying, with the IHS or whatever, you know what I'm saying. I'm here for anybody who is available for help. No, see, I don't need much. I know exactly what I need. I just had to get over the blockages of getting it. So on the other half, I can't be selfish because I never been selfish. You see what I'm saying? See, the difference between me and a lot of people is that the person you get on here 9 times out of 10 is gonna be the same person you get off of here, probably just a little bit more serious. Like I always say, when I was getting my certificates and you know, you know, earning, doing all everything I did, I was taking an oath to myself that I was dedicated to the path that I'm on right now. And this is why I would tell people, like, everybody that I meet on this channel, I manifested it. Everybody. Because I asked for this opportunity. I don't have one of them stories where I said, oh, I just woke up one day and I was here. No. Well, my thing is that how do you know? How do you know? My thing is that when I'm here to work, then I'm here to work, and I can still have fun no matter what I'm doing. But I take everything got to be taken serious. I don't understand what's not to be taken serious. No, I can take care of myself. I mean, it just depends on what people idea taking care of themselves is, and what do they think resources gonna come from. But I signed a contract. Now, I know some people some people say that you choose this, you choose that. Now I will say this, I thought about this before, and I just was reminded that if you become quote unquote reborn or born again, then you can sign a contract, and then you could come back. You know what I'm saying? That's the new covenant in the Bible. That's the, God, please forgive me for my sins. I swear to God, I'll do this for the rest of my life. Those now sometimes those are the contracts that people be talking about. They be, yeah, God, you free me out of jail. I swear to God, I'm gonna go back to church, and they never go back to church, so they always go back to jail. But I'll say this though, I guarantee, if you seen what I seen, yeah, I said, if you seen what I seen, then you will know the level of compassion that I'm talking about. He already took that into account when he accepts. That's what I think I know what you're saying when you say that, and that's what I'm saying by, like, for example, with the Reiki thing. For example, that's one of the biggest. That's, to me, in my life. I don't talk about it a lot because the algorithm. I feel like I shouldn't even say the word at all, for real, because the word is often associated as medical misinformation. Sometimes when the word, even if the word when the word get thrown in, you liable to be flagged for medical and misinformation. But that's one of my greatest accomplishments. That's one of my proudest accomplishments, because I was going through some things in my personal life to where I felt like certain things wasn't possible. And Reiki gave me the power and the belief that I otherwise thought was obsolete. Human nature will fall every day. We have a new day to choose different choices. Grace. Um, I don't like that talk. I think that talk sound good, but when you really break down what the words mean and whatnot and what these concepts say, then I like, for example, like when you're talking about human nature, uh, ain't no way you can talk about nature and talk about failing, because there ain't no pass or fail in nature, right? It's survival of the fittest. The first rule of nature is self-preservation, survival at it. You know what I'm saying? So this whole concept of good and bad, pass or fail, is nothing. That's a more modern concept of quote unquote humanity, right? Of civilized beings, should I say? Right? When we talking about grace, these are concepts for civilized beings. If we was a untouched, if we was one of those uncontacted tribes, that's none of these concepts of human nature and fail, and none of that shit would be of any relevance, because these are what they call light cold lockdowns. I can't believe I keep saying that. Meaning that they get you to believe these concepts that limit your spiritual power. And it's crazy to me how so many spiritual people be regurgitating these concepts. You can't live in yesterday. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Living in yesterday, these are more modern concepts. You show it in action, not just say it. I don't know how that. I don't know what you responded to with that, but when you was talking about human nature is to eat, sleep, shit, survive, explore, right? We just so happen to be able to write shit down. We just so happen to be able to use language. You know what I'm saying? Out of our whole history, all of the stuff that we do in modern day is relatively new. When you're talking about how many millions of years we've been on this planet. The American Negro in all this many colors, right? The American Negro is not 2,000 years old. Or the American Native, or I can't remember the word before Mexican, but they always say Aztec Mayan, but no, we are no different from anything else. It just so happened that we developed a certain particular part of our brain that allowed us to critically think on a deeper level than any other thing on this planet, as far as I know. I mean, there's some animals that got the social thing, right? Then there's some animals that got they use tools. There's some animals that's psychic. You got all these animals that specialize in everything, but we specialize in everything they specialize in. It's like we all in one. Hence the gestational cycle. 10:22 and two cars just dropped on the floor. 8 of cups and a 4 of cups is 12 cups. 3 of cups. You already said too much about what? But me personally, I try not to live in yesterday. I take everything every day as it goes. Well, one thing I do know is that in the midst of creating boundaries, you can't be too forgiving. You can't be too so forgiving that you forget people's true nature, meaning their personality or their spirit, right? All interchangeable. But when you have conversations like this, it's one thing to point out the behavior. It's another thing to be able to answer why the behavior happens. And I like to challenge people on that all the time. Because if we can say this, we can say that. Even if we can judge it good or bad, sad or whatever. What motivates me to wake up and do things in the morning? Uh, I can't say my biggest motivation, but one of my biggest motivations is um, the people who have taught me um, oftentimes I'm grateful because of the things that I've learned over the years. Um, since you wake up, it's all choices, choices, choices. You know what? It's a lot. Believe it or not, it's a lot of people who. It's a lot of data that's kind of hidden, kind of not so hidden, that shows that that's not always true. Um, your choices sometimes are made for you, believe it or not. Um, based off of things like your belief system, your trauma, available options or lack thereof. It's a lot of things that goes into that. Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, there are some anomalies, but but now I'm gonna speak from a scientific standpoint. When you study some of the deeper things about parapsychology and neuroscience, um, and and the quantum field theory and all of that, no. And this is why it's important for you to quote unquote say your prayers before bed or set your intentions before you go to sleep. Because what happens when we go to sleep, um It's almost like a Goosebumps book, man. But that's I ain't even about to go all into that. But no, but I'm telling you a good portion of it. Now, some people are not comprehending that info. That's cool. I mean, it's a lot of info I can't comprehend. Like why I can't stop smoking crack, huh? Huh? But yeah, no. A lot of people believe that they free agents. No. Even when you start talking about the science of epigenetics, predisposure, predetermined behaviors. Humans are so simple, man. And the killer part about it, we think that we train dogs and we train this and we train that, and we just so sophisticated. Listen, as a person who I took dog training classes, okay, um, the same the same thing that I learned 10th and 11th grade when I was studying child psychology. It's the same thing I learned when I was learning the basics of training animals. It's the same concept with penguins, with dogs. Oh, listen, I won't even. Yeah, you know what? I got something that I want you to watch, man. Because because don't you know how on one of the removing manifestation blockages episodes we was talking about how your intentions broadcast like the bat signal, broadcast the signal to the universe like the bat signal. well well the thing is that if I can teach you what to think, and I can teach you how to think what you think about, then your powers to manifest, whether latent or not, is still under my control, because I control everything that goes on in your head. So if I control everything that goes on in your head, then I directly control your reality. Listen, when I used to wrestle, my wrestling coach said you control the head, you control the body. So long story short, the media we consume on YouTube, TikTok, all of that shit directly correlate to the life that we project in reality. So if we always consuming media about people, getting money and stuff like that, then 9 times out of 10, that's the reality we gonna live. But if we consume content about struggle, about strife, about negativity, then that's what we gonna get. I can't wait for them boys to start walking. I'm about to get on up out of here. They got your boy shadow banned. I already know they got me shadow banned. I just don't know how long it's gonna take me to get out of it. You know what I challenge people on? I challenge people on what are you saying to yourself in your most intimate moments? Right? It's one thing to be either thoughtless or thinking about positive things when you out in the world, when you're making money, when you're distracted with friends, when you out at the bar, when you at the hookah lounge. But what about those most intimate moments when you home alone in the shower, or when you laying down to go to bed, or when you waking up from a nap? Like those are the moments where you most vulnerable to what they call spiritual attacks, aka your subconscious showing you some of your flaws. That's where I challenge people. When you get my coaching, that's where I challenge you the most. When you're not distracted by TV, when you're not distracted by work. Because yeah, it's easy for you when you work in the same thing over and over. Yeah, it's easy for your mind to slip into some PTSD, into some intrusive thoughts. But what about when you ain't got no distractions to stop you? Like I said before, we go to trans state, we willingly submit ourselves to different states of hypnosis all day, every day. That's what we do. So what? You know, The last time you said that had me thinking. And to be honest with you, this is a part of the reason why online tarot is so big right now. Because of the acoustics. See, yes, people is addicted to the sound of the cards being shuffled and dealt. People is addicted to hearing people talk. Again, is you willingly submitting yourself to a trance state, a state of receptivity. Sometimes these tarot readers be manifesting certain things in people's life. To be honest with you, if you really understand how energy works, a good tarot reader with proper intentions can do a lot of good work, especially one with the right knowledge and good intentions, because people are willingly submitting themselves to be hypnotized or programmed by the reader. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you're responding to, because I'll be talking so much. I'll be forgetting what I'll be saying, but well, trans state to trans state. And then it really get personal when you start, you know, what's a motivational speaker? You confusing me now. That depends on what you let in. Yeah. Yeah, but it's a lot of readers out here who just draining people of energy. Whether they conscious of it or not, they literally zapping people energy. And this is why the conversation that we was having the other day go the way it go, because I can't come on here and just cipher energy because I need money. I can't do it. Because to be honest with you, I want you to heal so you don't have to keep relying, keep running back to me, asking me every little thing. And if that make me a bad businessman, maybe I need to get into sports talk or something. Because when it come down to helping people, I don't see myself being super duper rich or nothing like that. Besides, like collective readings, or unless I charge a lot for my readings, but I'm not gonna do that. Unless I charge people, people be like, give me $20 for a 3-card mini read. I'll be like, damn, $20 for 3 cards? Give me $80 for 30 minutes. I'm like, damn. I can't wait till I get enough subscribers so I can charge. I gotta stop going live. That's what I gotta do. I gotta start doing collective readings and go live like once a month. people will start paying in. I don't even understand how the fuck these chips talk. Chip talk. I don't even understand how the fuck these chips walk. Maybe I shouldn't. I gotta get this channel back on track though. I think once I get like a good month or two of consistent growth, because I ain't been making enough content at all. I'll be alright if I did. I'll be alright if I did the 4 shorts and maybe 2 lives a day. I think that'll keep me nice in the algorithm. Whew. That's because my chi. Got to keep my chi level. Food, food grounds you. If you didn't know, food grounds you. Food brings you back down to earth. I remember I first started doing this shit, man. Man, I'd be going in like a 2 hours straight. Man, by the time I lay down, my body be vibrating. Or I remember sometimes I'd be on there, I'd be reading. The next thing you know, boom, I just start feeling like my sugar get low or something. I had to stop. I had to eat. Then I'd be good. I'd get back to reading people. I used to go live like 2 hours every single time I went live. 3 hours every single time I went live. Well, not damn sure, not 3 hours. No less than an hour. But everything on time, though. That's what I know. Everything on time. The numbers will add up. Yeah, it's time for me to go. I'm about to go rest. I'm gonna be live in the morning. I think I'm gonna do the collective reading tomorrow. But I'm out of here, y'all. Peace, love, health, and wealth. Anything else, put it back on the shelf. Why? Cause we ain't buying it, not at all. Bye bye.